Hi guys, I just thought I would hop on and make this video because I think it could potentially benefit a lot of you guys out there. I'm somebody who has struggled with chronic health issues since I was very young, and I've always been in and out of doctors' offices trying to resolve these problems. You know, there's probably a lot of you guys who are going through the same thing, or maybe this whole chronic health crisis is new to you and it's rocked your world, it's changed your life, and you're stressed, you're frustrated, and you're scared. I get it, because for me, growing up, it was always a battle, and it just progressively got worse to the point that when I graduated school, there was a period of time when I couldn't work, like even for a few years, and even today, I'm working part-time. I'm just hoping that with the years of my experience living with chronic illness, that I can offer some good advice that can help you guys deal with it as well. You know, the emotional aspect of living your life this way, even how to take care of yourself physically and mentally. I accidentally deleted this first part of my footage, which is why, as you'll notice, the background is completely different, so I'm really sorry. I'm actually in a whole new different apartment, but I just want to quickly jump right back into the topic. So the first step to take if you want to better manage your health conditions is that you have to accept your health condition and stop comparing yourself to other people. This is honestly the hardest first step to take, because I totally get what you might be thinking. You know, you might be thinking, it's just really unfair that I have to accept my condition when everyone around me wasn't born, or maybe wasn't diagnosed later with a particular health issue. And you might be feeling that life is unfair. You've been missing out on opportunities and missing out on things that you want to do. I totally understand that. But the truth is, life is not an even playing field. There's so many other people that could be in a situation that's a lot worse than some of us, right? There's people out there who are born in third world countries. There are people that are born in countries that are at war. They might be like, well, if I had been born in a safe country and in a country with more opportunities and wealth, then I would be so much more ahead in life. There is always something that you can pick out in your life that you can compare to someone else's life. And this never-ending cycle that you put yourself through, this painful mental agony of constantly comparing your life to another person's life and then being bitter about your life, is going to be bad for you. It's going to be bad for your mental health, and then it's going to be even worse for your physical health. You're just going to be stuck and not be able to get better. Okay, I'm just going to say it again because it is that important. You have to accept yourself. You have to accept your situation, because this is going to be the key to how you're even going to begin to getting better at managing your chronic illness. Point 2, you have to learn how to dismiss misunderstanding and dismissive comments coming from other people. I can't even tell you how many times I've been so hurt by other people making comments such as, yeah, I get sick too, you know, it's uncomfortable and whatever, you get over it. And then comments like, oh, you're just being lazy, just eat better, sleep better, or like, you're just exaggerating, it can't be that bad. These comments really crush my soul, especially when they come from people that are closest to you, and oftentimes come from people that are closest to you, because they're the ones actually, you know, on the receiving end of you talking about your health issues, because they're generally the people that you can trust the most, right? Like your parents, your siblings, your spouse, your partner, your best friends. They know how you're like when you're going through a health crisis and feeling unwell and expressing that. They also just don't understand what going through a chronic health issue feels like, because they're not you. There will just come to a point where even if they're caring for you, they'll come to this point where they're just like, they can't wrap their heads around what it's like to be you in your body, going through the pain that you go through, the fogginess, the struggles of even getting out of bed to function. I'm gonna give you an example, kind of like women who have periods. We all know that it's an inconvenience. And why do we all know that? Because we share that same experience. So we truly understand, gosh, getting a period is inconvenient, it's uncomfortable, you can get cramps, bloating, headaches. Everybody has different symptoms, but we all know baseline, it's just not convenient. Nobody likes getting their period. And another thing is, my husband is a medical worker. He went through residency already. He's doing another fellowship program. He is just being gutted in the programs. Now that I live with him, I'm just like, the amount of struggles and mental breakdowns he's gone through. He comes home exhausted, and he's like, you don't understand, because he'll get up at 5 in the morning and then come back at 7 the next morning. And he's right, I don't really understand. I feel for him, I feel bad for him, but do I really understand what it's like to be him going through what he's going through? No. That's why he always tells me I feel like a sense of camaraderie with my co-residents or co-fellows and other doctors and medical workers, because they've been through the same struggles. They truly do understand what it feels like in their situation. So what I mean is that you do have to learn how to dismiss some of these comments and separate yourself to protect yourself. Because otherwise, you're just going to end up so bitter if you're constantly expecting people around you to always know how to react to you when you're uncomfortable, to always know how to respond, or always know exactly how you're feeling, which leads to my next point. Now, the third point is your loved ones need to have a certain level of care and understanding for your condition, and you need to have the same level of care for your loved ones. This is very, very important. There needs to be a balance of how you guys navigate how to live your lives together when you deal with health issues. Basically, this means that your loved ones have to have a certain level of care and concern and empathy to be there and help you and listen to you when you're struggling with your health. But you also need to have the same level of care and concern for them, their daily activities, how they're doing in their lives, because they're not robots. They also have feelings. If you think about it, oftentimes as people with health issues, we can talk too much about how much pain we're feeling and how much we're struggling, and it all goes to them. They're on the receiving end, they're listening to us, and they can be very overwhelmed. It also sucks for them that they oftentimes can't enjoy certain activities because of us. We always think about, it sucks that I can't do this and that because I'm limited by my health issues and my body and my pain, but we are essentially limiting them because they want to do those activities with us and we can't go with them, or they have to go on their own, which it could be sad for them because they might be like, well, how come other partners can do these things together and my partner or my loved one can't do these things with me? So just keep that in mind, that there needs to be this harmony and this balance in your interaction. You might think it doesn't really matter because, well, they're healthy and what do they have to worry about? They have all the energy in the world. What's it to them to just be more supportive of me, to just care for me more and listen to me and love me? But like I said, they're all still human and everybody has a limit. Like, trust me, even the most patient person in the world has a limit because we're not perfect. If you guys have ever watched Parenthood, there's actually a scene that I feel like speaks really well to this point that I'm talking about, because there's a couple in this show that has two kids. One of them is a younger brother, his name is Max, and he has Asperger's, and the older sister is called Hattie. And the parents spend so much time and effort trying to help Max, going to doctor's appointments with him, seeing behavioral specialists, being called into school all the time because of his behaviors with other kids and with the teachers, and they are exhausted. But in this scene, one day the dad comes home, goes up to Hattie's bedroom. She had this big soccer game that he didn't go to, and he just said, sorry, I wasn't able to, make it to your game because, your brother's stuff we had to take care of. And Hattie just had a breakdown where she was like, it's always about Max. It's always been about Max. And basically, she feels neglected by her parents because, yeah, she might be the normal kid, but they're never there around for her because they're always taking care of the situations related to Max. And that can be hurtful for anyone who's going through that similar situation, like the person who is interacting with the person who is sick. Our loved ones will feel neglected a lot of the time. And actually, this was a scene that my husband brought up because we were watching this show together, and he was like, a lot of the time you make me feel that way. You make me feel like you're the parents and I'm Hattie. Yes, you have reason to be so swarmed by the difficult situation that you're trying to solve, which in this show, it's Max's Asperger's. But then because they were so focused on that, they kind of left Hattie out. Just kind of like, oh, she can deal with things on her own and there's nothing wrong with her. But everybody needs care and love in this world, even if you don't have health issues. So I realized that I was being too overbearing on my husband and he felt lonely. There's a part of him that was like, I wish you would listen to me. You would ask me about how my day was. And honestly, this scene was like a breaking point for our relationship, and realizing, yes, the person who's sick, the person who's struggling needs help, and they can get help from the person that loves them. But the person that loves them should also receive the same care and love from the person that's struggling. Even when you're struggling, try to ask them how their day was. Try to show some acts of love, or even show your love by not talking about your health issues, for a certain period of time and spend time with them. Oh, and for those of you who are not in a relationship or not married yet, if you plan on getting married or being in a relationship, it's wise for you to tell your future partner about your health condition, because you guys are gonna need to figure out whether you can live this life together, because there's a lot of people out there who are not cut out for a life with people who have chronic health issues, and you don't wanna find out too late. So be bold and let them know. Fourth point. Find a hobby or something you enjoy doing or are curious about trying. So that way you can draw your mind and your body away momentarily from all the pain and the discomfort that you often feel. Now, I know this can be confusing for a lot of you guys who might be new to this health crisis, and you're like, but I feel the pain. It's like I can't detach it. It's not like I can chop off my arm if I feel the pain in my arm. I get that, but the more you focus on that pain area, the worse it's going to get. And human beings are full of sensories, right? Like, we feel a lot, and that's why we feel our pain. But the more you focus your attention on your pain, the more your body is going to tune in on the pain. Honestly, it's just going to drive you crazy. So give yourself some space, take a breather, learn how to step away from the hardship of your situation. If you like drawing, go draw. If you like gardening, go garden. Take a job. Anything that's going to just give you a space of mind that's not focused on your pain. My fifth point is a reminder for you guys not to neglect your diet and lifestyle. And I know that this can be a very annoying advice, because there's a period in my life when people gave me that advice, I was like, do you actually think that I didn't try fixing my health issues through trying different diets, trying to better my diet or trying different exercise routines, etc.? So I know how you feel, but I still want to mention this because for those of us with health issues, it's very easy for us to fall into this depressive pit where you kind of just start neglecting your body. You're like way too tired to get up and feed yourself because you feel like crap and you have so much pain. And then the next thing you know, you're crying yourself to sleep, and it's just your routine gets all messed up, and that affects your health a lot. Think about it. Even somebody who is healthy, if they eat terribly and have like a very processed diet for decades, that can lead them to have a serious health issue and they could die from it. And also, when you are so emotional and cry all the time, there was a period of time I cried so much, like my eyes were perpetually swollen. I'm not even kidding. I had never seen my eyes like that in my life. For the first time in my life, for a period of time, it was always puffy and swollen because I couldn't stop crying about the situation. Every time I thought about it, I would be so emotional, and it just made me look like crap, made me feel like crap, made me sleep like crap. That actually made me more unhealthy. It made me neglect my body more. If you want to get better, don't do this to yourself. When you're sleep deprived, your body cannot recover. There's literally studies that say people who are sleep deprived for 17 hours, they have the same effects as somebody who's drunk, who has like blood alcohol content of 0.05%. So 0.08%, you have too much alcohol in your blood, and you can be arrested for that. So imagine just 17 hours lack of sleep, you're basically drunk. And then if you're not sleeping for 24 hours, then you have a blood alcohol content of 0.1%. That's higher than the 0.08%. So you're just out there functioning like a drunk person. On top of your health issues, you're a really messed up drunk person, okay? 6 point. Oh, wait, that's 12. 6. Okay, now you know that I probably should never learn how to sign language because I'm just gonna mistranslate. Anyway, this point I really, really want to emphasize, so bring your ears forward, y'all. If you can't hear, bring your ears forward, okay? Do not ever, 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 ever stop fighting for your medical condition or seeking for medical help. I don't care what anybody says, okay? You have to fight for yourself. You have to get it in your head to know that you can't be a quitter. Quitting is not an option. And that's because you need to get better. You need help. And I know how frustrating it can be to go through decades of seeing doctors and not being able to figure out what situation you have, what diagnosis you have, so therefore you can't really properly treat it. But just hang on for dear life, please. Just keep seeing doctors. You will eventually meet somebody, even if it's one person out of 200, 300. You might be able to just find that one person that can make a big difference in your life. I've definitely experienced this myself. That's why I'm a big advocate for this advice. Do not quit on yourself, because other people will quit on you. Doctors will quit on you, especially when they're just like, I don't know what's wrong with you, or it's all in your head, whatever. That's BS, because the human body is so complex. We don't even know everything about the human body. We're still learning all the different conditions that could potentially exist. So you have to fight for yourself. I went through so many years of just seeing doctor after doctor after doctor and no improvement. But then in the last 3 years, I actually saw 2 doctors and I started taking this medicine, and it has made a world of difference for me. It's life-changing for me. I mean, it's made me so not functional to so much more functional. I can work part-time, I can prepare all my meals every day. I cook from scratch for dinner all the time. I can set aside time to learn more things I want to do. I want to do other freelance work. I can learn about that. Like, I never had the energy to do any of those things. So don't ever give up, please. I am your biggest advocate. Hang in there, fight it out, get the help you need. If you don't have anyone in your life that believes in you, that believes you can get better, there's no one out there that is supportive of you, here I am. I believe in you, I trust in you. You go get it, you go fight for yourself, seek the help you need, fight for yourself. See, the cars, they're fighting for you too, okay? Don't quit, please. We're finally at my last and final advice. And whoa, I just noticed I'm inching so close to the camera. Like, I literally just, whew. I think it's just because I have a lot of things to tell you guys, and I want you to be filled with positivity, which is exactly our next point, is exercise positive thinking. There are so many studies that show that our brains actually remember patterns, and there's a pathway in our brain. So for example, this is your thought, right? Say your thought is this straight line. The more you think this thought, right, a negative thought, the more it etches into your brain. Like, there's an actual etching, like an actual pathway that it creates. And that's why people who think negatively just fall into the pit of thinking negatively continually. And actually, a lot of people who practice positive thinking, they feel better and better. Because you have to train your brain when it comes to this. Just remember that actually this pathway can start to be erased and removed by your brain, and it can be replaced. Right, if you draw another line, over time, that line of positive thinking is going to overtake the old one, and the old one of negative thinking patterns is going to fade away. And this is so important for for anyone's mental health, honestly. We live in a society that is oversaturated with stress, anxiety, and all these things that affect people's minds. And that's why in first world countries we have such high rates of suicide and depression, because we're not taking care of our minds. We're not taking care of the way that we think, the words that we speak to ourselves. You know, words can actually harm you. So get up in the morning or before you go to sleep. If you tend to have the tendency of bombarding your brain with negative thoughts, try to block it, and then start practicing talking to yourself, being like, I feel good today. I'm gonna be healthy. I'm gonna be strong. I'm gonna be okay. Reiterate that over and over again, and your mind will start to believe it. When your mind believes it, it will apply to your body, and it will genuinely make your body better. I hope that all of this advice is able to help you guys. I know it's kind of a long video, but I really hope that out of everything I said, there's some things that can help you in your journey on this chronic health crisis. And just always remember that I'm always here. You can always send me messages, talk to me, and you can ask me questions if you need help. So just let me know.